Are you psychic? Tune in. I'm going deep. And you would know. And you will know your ability and your superpowers. What's natural to you. And once you learn your gift, you can't be stopped. Here is the psychic natal placements in your chart. Now, this is how you can tell if you truly are psychic. The more aspects and the more psychic planets that you have in your chart and houses, is the more psychic that you are. So, we're starting off with clairvoyance, because everybody got intuitive abilities, which is also psychic, a natural intuitive knowing of something, even if it's temporary. But how you can truly tell if a person's psychic, I'm about to tell you right now. Okay, clairvoyance means clear seeing, which means understanding what you see. It's the ability to see visions, pictures, images with your inner sight, looking within yourself, and with your physical eyes, like you can see energy in the pictures. You could tell about the pictures. You understand the energy in the picture. Also, pictures forming in your mind, or forming in the mind, or pictures of people, places, symbols, situation, things, and colors. And also, this includes seeing spirits and auras. And those who are sensitive to the environment and can see things that others cannot see in the environment or around them. So those who have the placements of Mercury aspects to Neptune has this ability, which means Mercury conjunction to Neptune, Mercury trine to Neptune, Mercury sextile to Neptune, and also the squares of opposition only if they master these aspects, like Mercury square Neptune and Mercury opposing or opposition to Neptune. And these would be the strongest placements. If they master this placement, they'll be one of the best at clairvoyance, because the experience is the best teacher. Now, also those who have Mercury in water, like a Gemini moon, because the moon is water, and so Mercury is Gemini planet. Also Virgo planet is Gemini, is Mercury. So Virgo moon is also has clairvoyance ability. And so those who have Neptune in the first house, Neptune in the fourth house, Neptune in the eighth house, and Neptune in the 12th house has this ability. And also those who has Neptune that's aspects to the sun, the moon, and we already know Mercury has this ability, like sun conjunction Neptune, sun trine Neptune, sun sextile Neptune, and sun square Neptune, sun opposition to Neptune, the same as the moon. The moon that's conjuncted to Neptune, the moon trine to Neptune, the moon sextile to Neptune, or the moon square to Neptune, or the moon opposing Neptune has the clairvoyance ability. And also those who has Mercury, I already did the placements of Mercury. So those who have Mercury in the 8th house, in the 12th house, also has the clairvoyance ability. And also those who have Sagittarius rising. Yes, this fiery rising sign. And those who has Pisces rising. And those who have Scorpio rising. And those who have the moon rising have the clairvoyance ability, especially the moon in the 3rd house. Also, so those who have Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter in Scorpio had this ability too. So now you understand, video people. Those who has Sun conjuncted to Jupiter, or Mercury, or Sun conjuncted to Jupiter, or the Sun trine Jupiter, or the Sun sextile Jupiter, or the Sun square Jupiter, or the Sun opposing Jupiter. And those who have Mercury conjuncted to Jupiter, or those who have Mercury trine Jupiter, or Mercury sextile Jupiter, or Mercury square Jupiter, or Mercury opposing Jupiter. And those who have the moon conjunction to Jupiter, or the moon trine to Jupiter, or the moon sextile to Jupiter, or the moon square to Jupiter, or the moon opposition to Jupiter has the clairvoyance ability. Now, also those who have a south node in the 8th house and the 12th house, and those who have a heavy 8th house and 12th house has the clairvoyance ability. And those who have a Libra moon and a Taurus moon that's connected to Neptune aspects has this ability. Like you got a Libra moon that has aspects to Neptune, or a Taurus moon that's aspects to Neptune has this ability. So Libra rising, if you are Libra rising, you are clairvoyance. And those who has aspects to Neptune in the first house, or Uranus in the first house, or Pluto in the first house, has this ability. So you got Neptune in the first house, Uranus, or Pluto, you has the clairvoyance ability, which means your ability to see images that people cannot see, and to understand what you see. I mean, places, symbols, situation, colors, auras of peoples or spirits. You have the ability to see that. So you have this second ability. Now, we're going to move on to clairsentience. Those who have clairsentience ability. But first of all, I got to say that I have Mercury sextile to Neptune, so I had a clairvoyance ability, but I also have like a Virgo moon, so I had a clairvoyance ability, and plus I have the Sun sextile Neptune, so I have the clairvoyance ability. Ability, and plus I have I am a Libra itself, but it's more about Libra rising. But also I have Jupiter in Cancer in my first house, so I definitely have this ability. So now, and Jupiter is my dominant planet, so I have the clairvoyance. So I am clairvoyance. So now it ain't only ability, I am clairvoyance. That's why I see imagery and I experience it. So now this ain't about me, it's more about you, but I'm just showing you all these placements that I have, so you can do the same. Now, clairsentience. Clairsentience is receiving clear information about others through their own emotion responses and sensations in the body or on the skin. Highly sensitive, either the skin, emotions, or both. This is clairsentience, and can detect the energies of environment. I mean, it don't matter where you go. It could be public places, around electricity equipment. You just feel the energy, you feel the vibes, you feel people aura. You can feel it. It's I feel. See, clairsentient means clear feeling. Yeah, so clear feelings is understanding what you feel, understanding emotions, understanding what you feel, understanding the energy. So that's what it deals with. So once you understand what you feel on the skin or in your body, like certain body parts, I know I got this. I'm very much clairsentient. I got a lot of this in me. Because I'm a Cancer rising. But if you are a water rising, I am a water rising, Cancer rising, you are clairsentience. If you are Neptune in the first house, you are clairsentience. Let me say it again. If you have Neptune in the first house, you are clairsentient. If you have the moon in the first house, you are clairsentient. If you have a fire moon, you are clairsentient. You know what fire moon is? It's the fire signs. It's like the Aries. It's like the Aries is like the Sagittarius and a Leo. If you have the fire Mars, you are clairsentience. If you have Mars in the aspects to Uranus, you are clairsentience. If you have the Sun in the 4th house, in the 8th house, in the 12th house, you are clairsentience. If you have Sun in the water sign like Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, you are clairsentience. If you have a Sun that's aspects to Neptune, which I have a sextile, you are clairsentience. So if you have a Sun conjunction Neptune, Sun trine Neptune, Sun sextile to Neptune, Sun square Neptune, a Sun opposition Neptune, you are clairsentient. And also, if you have Sun aspects to Pluto, you are clairsentient. I have a Sun conjunction Pluto, so I'm very much clairsentient. Not only Cancer rise, I got a lot of aspects that deal with clairsentience. Now, if you have a Sun conjunction Pluto, a Sun trine Pluto, or a Sun sextile Pluto, a Sun square Pluto, or a Sun opposition to Pluto, you're a clairsentient. Also, if you have a moon in the aspects to Pluto, which means moon conjunction Pluto, moon trine Pluto, moon sextile Pluto, moon square Pluto, or moon opposition Pluto, you're a clairsentient. If you are Cancer rising or ascendant like myself, I said you are clairsentient. If you have a sun conjunct to the moon aspects, or sun moon aspects like the sun conjunction to the moon, or sun trine to the moon, or the sun sextile to the moon, or the sun square the moon, or the sun opposing the moon, you are clairsentient. And so if you are Taurus sun, or Taurus moon, or Taurus rising, or Taurus Mars, you are clairsentients. Y'all got to understand why they say the Venus in here, because Venus people are clairsentients or empaths. Empaths, yes, they are empaths. Deal with Venus. So if you are Libra moon, you are clairsentients, or Libra moon in aspects to Neptune or Pluto, you are clairsentient. And also, if you have South Node in the 4th house, you are clairsentients in the moon house. If you have South Node in the 12th house, you are clairsentients. If you have a heavy 2nd house, 4th, and 8th, and yes, you are clairsentients. And also 7th house, you are clairsentients. If you have a 1st house ruler as you have a Neptune in the 1st house, or the moon in the 1st house, you are clairsentients. And so I done named all of the clairsentience abilities. And also, if you have Venus in the 1st house, you are clairsentient, because Venus is an empath. Venus feels the energy. And so, also with the Venus placements, like the moon and Venus at conjunction aspects, the moon trine to Venus aspects, the moon sextile Venus aspects, the moon square Venus aspects, the moon opposition to Venus aspects, you are clairsentients, because you're a natural empath. Empath ain't nothing but clairsentient. Clairsentient is just understanding and knowing how to read the energy. An empath is those who pick on people's emotions, but sometimes can't read the energy. See, a person who has clairsentient ability don't have to take on it. They can feel it, but they can control it and understand it and read it. So, but both of them about the same. Just that clairsentient is understanding what they feel, and understanding that what they feel ain't their energy, it's somebody else's energy that they feeling. And so, boom. And this could be an environment. Sometimes I go in the store, and I feel like in the store, it feel very damaging. It don't feel good. So I leave the store, and I feel good when I go outside and leave the store. I feel back energized again. So now, clairaudience. Clairaudience is also, it deals with automatic writing and deal with channeling your energy. And so this deal with like hearing voices that sound like a mumble or grunt. You might hear like voices that you really can't understand, and also it's understanding words and sound and vibration. It deals with like buzzing sensations in your ear, and hearing sentences and words and conversations in your mind. You just hear it in your mind, or you hear a song in your mind. And this deal with voice that seems to come from above, just come out of nowhere, just a voice. And also the sound of the words in your mind, all this here. And just hearing messages in the songs, like I say, and other people's conversations. Like some people who are clairaudience can also like hear voices from a distance, like somebody way down the street somewhere where other people can't hear it, because they're so sensitive they can pick up on the information. And so also, these are people who can hear thoughts of individuals in their mind, like conversations or words just come to them out of nowhere. Somebody thoughts come to them out of nowhere. This clairaudience. And also, words like in the book come to their mind quickly. You know what I'm saying? In the voice, they could put a voice to certain words. Put a voice to like for example, they understand the way I speak. So my writing when I write something, they can put my voice to these words and it sounds just like me in their mind when they read what I wrote. So they're good at that. So those who has Mercury in Pisces or Mercury in Aquarius are clairaudience. And those who has the moon in the 3rd house and the moon in the 8th house and the moon in the 12th house and the moon in the 11th house are clairaudience. Yes. Also, those who have the moon in the 6th house are clairaudience because the Mercury placements is clairaudience. Mercury deals with information, deals with words, understanding words and messages. So those who are clairaudience deal with messages. So that's why anybody who have the Virgo, Sun in Virgo, those who have Sun in Mercury, it most likely could be clairaudience, or those who have the moon, and the moon will be more stronger. The moon in Virgo could be clairaudience, or the moon in Gemini could be clairaudience. And this is why, because I'm a Virgo moon, and this is why I used to hear voices one time. So, so I hear songs in my mind just come to me, and I just start singing it, early in the morning, songs just popping up in my brain, stuff like that. And also I hear voices from a distance, and I can't understand it. But also those who have Uranus in the 3rd, or the moon in the 3rd, or Uranus in the 6th, and the moon in the 6th, are clairaudience. Or Neptune in the 3rd, or Neptune in the 6th house, are clairaudience. Or those who have the Mercury conjunction to Uranus aspects, or the Mercury trine Uranus aspects, or the Mercury sextile Uranus aspects, or the Mercury square Uranus aspects, or the Mercury opposition to Uranus aspects are clairaudience. And also those who have the Mercury conjunction to Neptune aspects, or those who have the Mercury trine Neptune, or those who have the Mercury sextile Neptune, or the Mercury square Neptune, or the Mercury opposing Neptune, has the clairaudience ability, or is clairaudience. Now, so I have the Mercury sextile Neptune, so I am. That's why. That's one of the reasons. And another thing, I'm a Virgo moon. But also I have Neptune in the 6th house. Neptune in the 6th house, which is Virgo. So now, those who have the Mercury conjunction to Pluto aspects, or the Mercury trine to Pluto aspects, or the Mercury sextile Pluto, or the Mercury square Pluto, or the Mercury opposition to Pluto, is clairaudience. So also those who has Mercury in the 8th house, Mercury in the 8th house, and Mercury in the 12th house are clairaudience. And Mercury in the 11th house is clairaudience. So those who has Mercury in Aquarius is clairaudience. And also Gemini rising, you are clairaudience. Yeah, you are clairaudience. And Gemini rising with water, with Mercury in the water house, you're a clairaudience. And those who are a Gemini moon, or Aquarius moon, or Aquarius rising are clairaudience. Yes. And also, I said the moon, there's aspects to Neptune, which is the moon conjunction Neptune, moon trine Neptune, the moon sextile Neptune, the moon square Neptune, the moon opposing Neptune are clairaudience. Those who are the moon conjunction to Pluto, or the moon trine Pluto, or the moon sextile Pluto, or the moon square to Pluto, or the moon opposing Pluto are clairaudience. And also those who South Node is in the 3rd house, 6th house, 3rd house, 6th house, 8th house, 11th house, and 12th house are clairaudience. And also those who has an air moon, like it could be a Libra moon, Aquarius moon, a Gemini moon, or the moon in the water house, are clairaudience. So a Libra rising also is clairaudience. A Gemini rising also clairaudience. So the air sign mostly clairaudience too. deal with writing, channeling energy, understanding words, understanding sounds, understanding information and what they read, and also they can hear sounds and everything else. Also, those who have a heavy third house, fourth house, eighth house, 7, 11, and 12. I said 6 and third are clairaudience. So now, if you got a lot of this in your chart, you're a clairaudience. You can have one, but the more you have, the more stronger you'll be clairaudience. And that's why I got more than one placement here. So I got all these psychic abilities in all these houses. Now we're going to claircognizance, which is the strongest psychic gift. And this is like intuition itself, but it's a higher version of just knowing. Claircognizance is the crown because you have to know the energy for you to be able to read it. And it's by understanding. Claircognizance deal with understanding the energy. I know, I understand. So claircognizance, which means clear knowing or clear understanding what you know, it's intuitively knowing things about people, places, and things as if the information was already present within yourself or within your mind. You get sudden bursts or downloads of information, of understanding and revelations of anything, like to answer. You get sudden downloads of information to an answer to something that you need to be answered, or out of nowhere you got the answer without even studying or anything. You ain't even study nothing, and all of a sudden you know the answer. It's like a person studying a test, but all you did is receive a quick download of information, and you just know the answer without studying, and you get all A's, while this person did all the studying and they still get a B. So it's I know right here. I know because your experience help you too to be claircognizant. So those could just take the crown because you got to know what you see to be clairvoyance. You got to know what you hear to be clairaudience. You got to know what you feel to be clairsentience. And so that's why this placement is very important. Just take the crown. Just give you the knowing, the strong knowing, intuitively knowing. Super smart. This is higher than intelligence. So if you got Pluto in the first house, you're a claircognizant. If you got Uranus in the first house, you're a claircognizant. If you got Jupiter in the first house, you're a claircognizant. And I got Jupiter in the first house. If you got Mercury that's aspects to Pluto, you're a claircognizant. Like Mercury conjunction to Pluto, Mercury trine to Pluto, Mercury sextile to Pluto, or Mercury, and I got Mercury conjunction to Pluto, or Mercury square to Pluto, or Mercury opposition to Pluto. You're a claircognizant. Or if you got Jupiter in the first house, if you got Jupiter in the 8th house, the 11th house, or in the 3rd house, or the 6th house, you're a claircognizant. So this is very important. Also, if you got Uranus, that's aspects to Mercury, you're a claircognizant. Mercury that's conjunction to Mercury, or trine to Mercury, or sextile to Mercury, or Uranus that's square to Mercury, or opposition to Mercury, then you are claircognizant. And also, if you got Moon conjunction to Jupiter, a moon, because I got a Cancer moon. I got Jupiter in Cancer. This is my first house. But if you got Moon, so you know I'm claircognizant. If you got Moon conjunction to Pluto, you claircognizant. Or if you got the Moon trine Jupiter, trine to Jupiter, you are claircognizant. If you got the Moon sextile to Jupiter, you are claircognizant. If you got Moon square Jupiter, you are claircognizant. Or if you got Moon opposition to Jupiter, you're claircognizant. And also, if your south node is in the 9th house, if it's in the 9th house of Jupiter, or if it's in the 4th house, or if it's in the 11th house, or if it's in the 8th house, you're claircognizant. So we got a heavy 4th house, 9th house, 11th house, and 8th house, your claircognizance. And so this is a very important placement right here. Claircognizance, beautiful people. So to let you know, claircognizance, clear knowing. So this deal with the Sagittarius rising, the Scorpio rising, the Aquarius rising, the Virgo rising, and the Gemini rising. Your claircognizance right here. And also Cancer rising, claircognizance. Claircognizance. So now y'all understand. Now, how much you got in everything that I just read will determine which the most dominant psychic ability that you have. And mine is claircognizance and clairsentience is the two most aspects I have in the psychic ability, which means clear feeling and clear knowing. But also I got clairvoyance and I got clairaudience too. And so I got a lot of psychic ability in my chart. You know what I mean? I got a lot of psychic ability in my chart. And this proves to you, beautiful people, that we all got psychic ability. So what you got to understand, that claircognizance is clear knowing. But the 4th house is very important because this is a water house. And this play a important role in psychic ability. You know what I mean? This is about receiving information. You know what I mean? And you understand information. You internalize it, take it in your subconscious. This deal with the subconscious and the ancestors. And so this house here definitely deal with the mind of every individual, the emotional mind. And it's a very strong emotions, very strong feelings. So you can feel the vibes, feel the energy. And so you pick up on information easily. And so this information here is very, very strong, especially when you got Jupiter in Cancer like me. This will enhance your moon ability, your psychic ability. And according to what's connected to the moon, like, for example, if you got Uranus that's connected to the moon, you be claircognizant. So you got Jupiter connected to the moon, you be claircognizant. Or Mercury connected to the moon, you be claircognizant, like that there. But if you got Neptune that's connected to the moon, you can be very clairvoyant and also clairsentience, like that there. If you got Pluto connected to the moon, you be like a shaman, a medium, because Pluto is a medium. So if you got any Pluto placement that deals with Mercury and Pluto, especially like a little earthly in it, like Pluto in the 2nd house, or Pluto in like the Earth house, like the 10th, or Pluto like in the 6th house of Virgo, you can be a medium, which because the earthly body can pick up on energy and stuff like that. So, which means you also could talk to spirits and people from the other side. So this makes people in this house as a medium great healers too. So the great healer's house is definitely deals with Virgo. Virgo is the healer sign that's on the practical realm, and Pisces is the healer sign in the spiritual realm. It's the opposite of Virgo. So Virgo finds solutions from the spiritual realm to bring to the physical realm. So that's why Virgo is practical about healing. Got practical ways about healing. And Pisces just got it in their hand. They over energy. They manipulate the energy. So they call the universe for everything, and it happens. They manifest through tapping into the divine essence of who they are and becoming one with the universe. So all these abilities we have is very great. And to be a medium, you got to look at Scorpio and Pluto aspects, like Scorpio rising. Not only Scorpio, they ain't the only one. It's the earth element too. Like if you got like water connected to the earth, like especially like Taurus, you got Taurus, the Venus aspects. You got especially Saturn, and you got Mercury of Virgo, Mercury Earth. Very much mediums. And Scorpio is definitely the shamans of the world, the mediums of the world, because they ain't scared of the underworld and to talk to the ancestors and spirits and stuff like that. So just because you might not be a Scorpio or whatever, but you might have it in your chart. So a lot of these placements, just because you don't have the sign directly as your month sign, don't mean that it's not part of you. You can have more water in your sign, even though you're an air sign, even though you're a fire sign, you have a lot of water in you. So water signs pick up on energy more than anything, and fires do too. Fire signs is more highly intuitive than anything naturally, and more clairvoyance and confident knowing, which claircognizant. So water signs are more pick up on all type of energy, pick on everybody vibe. It's more mother nurturing energy. So this energy appear to be more psychic than others, but all energy is psychic. It depends how it connects with the other energy. So I just explained to you your placements. You can write it down, and you go to astrology online. Like one lady I like to embrace her website is LMA Astrology. LMA Astrology. And by you ask me about what's her color, that all that ain't got to do with the knowledge that she put down. Color and all that, you got nothing to do with it. It's the skill of this writing that you will see on her website. So this is very important, and you be very appreciative of this woman. Yes. So it's many psychic placement that you go on. You go to many places online who will give you more insight on the psychic placements. Many spots like advancedastrology.com is another one. Another one is www.astrologycon. It's another one. www.toricon. I'm showing you all the places on Google where you can Google and you can get these psychic placements. And also you go to Medium Con. Yes, and they will reveal the psychic placements. Also many websites you can go to on Google. But I like LMA Astrology the best because it's got many aspects on there. Even though there are more, and I always add on more because I know the placement. So this from my intuitive self. Everything I speak on, once I learn something, I come from my intuition. And I just go on and on. It be like offbeat because I know what it is, So that's how we got to do. Live by our psychic self after we learn. Our experience become psychic. We just know. Even if it don't say this, say that, you just know. I just go off by me knowing, So you just don't study for nothing. After a while, you ain't gonna be studying no more. Cause you feel like you study so much. After a while, you can go by your intuition a lot, and that's what I do. I go by my intuition so much. I just go off reading. You can tell cause how quickly I be saying it and speaking it. You know that this ain't no just reading. You can tell I'm not just reading. So sometimes I appear to read, and if I try to read, I go off beat anyway and go from my own intuition by knowing, cause this don't be enough information. So with it being said, I came to who bring you this light. Now you know the psychic placements. And if you don't know, now you know. Ashe.